Welcome back. Yeah, dreaded 600. Right, I'm going to try and do this video without any editing, all in one go. What I'm going to do is that this is one reason, well, there's lots of reasons why I hate the 600. It's pointless, but one of them is that stupid little short cable they give you. So you all know, once you take it apart, you're fishing that in there, you're trying to plug it in, pull it out if you're taking it apart, or plug it in if you're trying to put it together. Yeah, pain in the bloody rear. The amount of times these bloody things, because you fiddle with them that much, they disconnect sometimes. Come off the solder, just wear off. So, got a long one. Yeah, I've got loads of Y splitters. So when I did the last 500, I used a Y splitter for the GoTech, but I didn't both ends of it. Only because it's longer lead. I didn't need both ends. So, snipped this one off and I kept it, which I'm glad I did. Because I'm going to swap this one out for this one, which is a lot longer. So you're not having to stick your hand in there and try and, because my hands, they're not little, they're not big, but they're not little. And I can't get my hand in there very well. It drives me nuts. So exact same connection, no different. But the colour coded, so pin 1 is green on here, so pin 1 in here is yellow. So I need to solder that yellow one to that green one. And then we've got an orange one, which will be one of the blacks. The red one, which will be one of the other blacks. And that red one goes to the black one. Yeah, confusing. Yeah, I could take a keyboard actually, and make it easier, wouldn't it? But I am going to leave it on here because it's something that will hold it for me. So I'm not having to fight with it. So I need to plug that in. First off, we need to get them all the same length. So at the moment they're all just different lengths. I'm just going to trim this so they're all the same length. Like that. Let's zoom you out a bit. This is just going to strip each one. I need to tint them. So when you tint these, just all the twines on the ends, just twist them together, make them nice and tight together. Because you're going to tin them in a minute, so you want it to act like a firm piece of wire rather than braids of wire. Stick them in your helping hand if you've got one, spread them out a bit. Oh, yeah, there you go, sponge is dry. Right, moved you into a better place. So, bit of solder on your tip, like that. And then just push them together where the wire is and it'll tin it. And that's how you tint. That easy. What that does, it helps it solder to the board, keeps it tight. Move that over there a bit. Right, so we need to match them. So yellow goes to green. So we need to remove green off of the board. That's it. And we'll put yellow in its place. It's in there. It's yellow. Now orange is one of the blacks which is next to yellow. We'll find out which it is. There it is. Just mark that. So that's that one. Move them on with white. That's that one. Let's get this on my way. Right, so the next one is red, which is my other black. Move them over that side now. last one is red to black. That's it. Job's a kipper. Been that. So what I am going to do is just give them all a twist together, just to support each other a bit. Twist there. Right, I'll put the keyboard back in a minute. Feed that through. Get it in there. Move you out of the way. Now, there's a nice long cable here. That's a lot better. Put a kink on it so it bends inwards every time I close the lid. Okay, look at that cable. Nice and long. Just rest it there for now. Power it on, make sure everything works. Power light. We should get disc light. Yeah, disc light. It's floppy light. It's checking for floppy, but it's not there, so we won't find it. It'll go to disc now. There you go. Yeah. So that's that worked. Sweet. Not that I'm keeping it, but just one thing that's always nigged me about these stupid things. I don't know why they did that. Wire that long. What's the point? Just going to try this floppy again. You know, I had the GoTech in, which you saw in the last video, with Amiga test kit, and it worked on the GoTech. Sorry, worked on the GoTech. But it wouldn't, floppy wouldn't do it, so I cleaned the floppy in, still wouldn't do anything. But I've just come to plug the GoTech in, and the GoTech won't load again. So, where's me, so I'm just going to test something here. So, I've connected the floppy back up to the 600, as you can see. So, connected the floppy back up, power it on. It's working now. So, it's intermittent. It's not the floppy drive. Because when I had the GoTech in, it was doing the exact same thing. It was really weak. On a GoTech, when a floppy can't read a disk and it gives you those three little bumps, it was really weak on the floppy drive. Which it's an Epsom anyway, so they're really crap anyway, but it should be stronger feeling than that. The motor goes back, forth, back, forth, back, forth like that. But it wasn't doing it very strong, it was very, very weak. The same with the GoTech, it was doing a little dim flash on the LED, really dim. So something's up with the voltage on here, because it's coming up now. Now I've plugged it back in. I was going to show me plugging it back in, not working, and then I was going to get the 500 out and test it on that, see if my theory was right, but it looks like I don't need to now, because it's just proven my theory was right. So something's up with the 600. It's not the floppy drive or the GoTech. So it's going now. It could be the cable. But then it fired up no problem on the 500. But then saying that, it could be a loose connection on the cable, and I've just... the mouse isn't plugged in. You can plug a mouse in while the Amiga's on, and a joystick, because it's a dead signal. There's no connection on. There's no connection until you click on it. Then it creates a connection. So yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't want to go on there. I don't need to test memory. Floppy drive. Why won't it? Let's do a signal test. Yeah, there's no problem. Yeah. So it could be the cable or the capacitors. Might be capacitors. Yeah, well. But if it's intermittent, it could come back. So, but the floppy drive's working now. Yeah, and that. Okay, well, not very. Why was that? It's not going to go in there, is it? Like that. Why is that cable so short? Sometimes you don't have to fix anything; it fixes itself. Yeah, God, I hate Amigas; they're so temperamental. Right, so I presume it's the cable, the ribbon, and I don't want to know why the ribbon won't bloody reach anymore. What was it? I ain't got another one, so this is the ribbon from it. The hell am I missing here? I'm missing a trick here or something. Because it will no longer reach. Ah. I think it might be the ribbon actually. I've just saw. I could see pins through the gap. This ribbon comes in onto the plug, which connects into the floppy drive. There's little pins, not thousands, but quite a few. I can just see a little sliver of silver. You shouldn't be able to see that. It should be a tight fit. Right, I need to sort that membrane out as well, and the hole. So we need to do something with that hole. The first thing is pick off the SCSI label. I'm pretty sure I don't want that hole there. Let's remove the keyboard. I'll worry about the membrane in a minute. So what I've got here is Perspex. It's part of the 3D pen, so you can draw onto it and it just peels back off. So I've cut a little piece off of it. What I'm going to do is on the outside stick it over that there and then fill in from the inside, and then once it's set I can peel that off and hopefully I'll have a reasonably smooth surface there, and then just a thin coat of epoxy filler and sand it down. It should smooth it out. So I've started it, just waiting for it to come out the end. Add some more as well while I'm here. And it should start feeding out like that. And let's get rid of that first bit. Sorry, is my head in the way? Like that. Put that down. Right, so you can see it. Fill that bit in. There's a little gap there. A little gap up there, but I can fill that in. So just wait for it to set solid before I remove that. Let's peel that off. I don't know if this Perspex is going to come off with these or not. It should do technically because it's 3D. It's a 3D printing perspex, so it should come off. Oh, it has. There you go. Sweet. That's handy. So you can see the little gap I was talking about there. Just there. There's a little gap here. See, but you see the sheen on it. See? Good, aren't they? That's why I have a 3D pen as well as a 3D printer. Handy little tools. And once that sets, it's nearly set now anyway, it don't take long because it's melted plastic, so once it goes down it's set. But it'll be a nice tight fit in there, it'll hold it. And then with a thin layer of acrylic over the top, and I can sand it down, and that'll be firm. On the inside, well, a different story. You can see it's been filled. Not I can do about that. It's the outside I'm worried about. Yeah. Do you reckon? Not bad. Clever me, aren't I? So what I'm going to go and do is knock up a bit of epoxy. I've been calling it acrylic, haven't I? Well, it is epoxy acrylic, but epoxy. And skim over the top of that. And then that'll take a good 12 hours to dry properly before I can start sanding that. Yeah, it was easy. Right, I'll go in here and knock some epoxy up and... Yeah, it's not up here, it's downstairs. Yeah, I'll go and knock some epoxy up and set that and then leave it for 12 hours. Yeah, don't worry, it hasn't turned into a metal detecting video. It's stupid o'clock in the morning and I'm downstairs, so yeah. So it was dried this morning, so I've been sanding it from about 5:30. It's about 7:30 now. So I've been sanding it, and then any little gaps what are there, bit of super glue, let it dry off a bit till it's tacky, not more than tacky. And then I light sand so the dust fills those cracks with the super glue. So I've been doing it on and off, on and off. So you can see it there, but yeah, it's pretty smooth. So I was getting ahead of myself, so that's why the camera's down here, rather than me taking it upstairs and doing this and then coming back down to spray, because it's ready for spray. So I'm not going to spray the full case. I'm just going to spray the back of this and then fade it out into that. So it should be the same colour anyway, I think it's the same colour. So you shouldn't be able to see it. So I'm going to spray that now. Next time you see me, we'll probably be upstairs, I think. After I've had a coffee now, because I've been at this for 2 hours. Right. So that's its first coat. Yeah, you can see the repairs up here. I don't know if you can see on camera. Yeah, it's a tiny little. See if we can get it to focus in. Probably not. There's a tiny little gap, just tiny little bit. So what I can do now is that first coat, I'll sand that down and it should fill that gap a little bit better. And then give it another coat and then sand that and then one more coat and we should be there. Yeah, it's a good match though. So this is called grey white. I'll show you the can, what it is. It's a Amiga 600, well it is Amiga 600 and Amiga 1200 colour match, virtually, not far off. It's not an exact colour match, but, well, it is, but, I don't know what I'm trying to explain it. It's a good match. Yeah. So that's the original colour, not sprayed. You probably can't see it anyway, because it's not the best lit area. Yeah. It's still wet. Right, so I'll let that dry, give it a sand down, and give it another coat. We'll see where we're at. Right. Back to normal. Yeah, not bad, eh? It was over here, by the way, if you can't guess. You see that little mark there? That's all I've got left. I thought, I ain't bothering about that. So, put the case together, he says. Like that. There we go. That's just colour match. Hey, not a bad match. It's got a bit of a gloss on it at the minute. I think it's because it's still slightly not set. I can show it. No, I can't show it. I'll give up. I'm twisting it like an idiot. What that paint is called is Celsil. Celsil. Yeah. It's grey white. Yeah. So if the camera will focus. So that's the paint. That's what I use on 1200s and 500 one of these. Yeah. You get it off of Amazon. That's what I use mainly. Right, that's that done then. I can disconnect it. I'll show you the inside. Where's the repair? Right there. So the inside, you can see the fill from the 3D pen, 3D printed pen. That's the infill. I'm not bothered about the inside because once it's closed, you won't need to get into it because I'm going to do the exact same to this, what I did to the 1200 with the SD. Move the, take the RF box out. But I've ordered a shorter one. The other one, I had in a box up there. I don't know why it was like 20 foot long. So I've ordered the shortest one they sell, which is 25 centimeter. So that's SD to SD extension. It's still a bit too long, but not as bad. So that'll go in where the RF was. So technically you won't need to open it, I don't think. Well, unless you're going into put PCMCIA card in, you'll have to switch the memory over from 8 meg to 4 meg. I could put a switch on it, but it's a 600, why not bother? Yeah. Turned out well that. Right, so my next step is take the board out, remove the RF, get that out. I'll remove the metal RF shielding, which doesn't actually do anything. You don't need them in there. The 1200, which is on eBay now, which is finishing tomorrow, that hasn't got RF shielding at all. Well, that one didn't have it because it rusted completely away. So yeah, so I'll take this one out as well. You don't need them, so they don't actually do anything. So I'm going to get on with that, take that out, and then remove that RF box. Just removing the RF. Nice new bit of solder on there. Suck it out. Get out. Got that bad boy. This is the pen and the rear one. Just had a bit flux, large solder head or solder tip. Let the heat get in there. Voila. Got these 3 little things, haven't I? Oh, that smells a bit fishy. It shouldn't. It's only the RF. Yeah, it don't smell great. Pair of pliers, just give that. We've got to think that's still stuck out. Looking at it. Yeah, that's still stuck. Let's heat that up and we can pop that one out. which one's still stuck? Looks like the middle one. There we go. And that's how you remove your RF. Oh, that stinks. Plain simple. There you go. 2-minute job if you've got the right tip. So it's all really large, flat tip, well, angled. Before you start, add a bit of fresh solder to it. Let it heat it up. Even though you see it starting to melt, don't go straight in and try and desolder it. When you start to see it melt, leave it on there an extra couple of seconds. And I have my soldering iron on 400. And if it's not working on 400, you can pop it up to about 410 on these. But only for stuff like that. Don't use 410 for small little pads like capacitors and stuff. I think about 380 is good enough for the capacitors, or 360. Right, turn the soldering iron off because I'll finish with that. Just going to give the area a quick clean with a bit of IPA. That's got it. Yeah. Right, that's how you remove an RF. Because like these are basically heat sinks, and then you've got the ground which sucks the heat away as well. So you need to get your machine up on a big bit of water damage over here and all. Didn't see that. Yeah. And I have noticed that's been worked on. Somebody's replaced that. I just noticed that when I was cleaning that up. I thought it looked a bit that way, skew whiff, slightly off. Yeah. So somebody's been working on this. Yeah. Right, so again, this isn't going to fit in there, obviously, because those capacitors and everything. In fact, I think I'm going to struggle even when I trim this one down. Because of them, the 1200, they're a lot further back. Where's my 1200 board? Yeah. So if you look on the 1200 here, the capacitor, oh you can't see. So you look on the 1200 here, to the capacitors, and then you got the screening with the what was it, 239 and 236 here. No screening here. And these are closer to the pinouts than them. Yeah. So that sticks out to that symbol there, to the end of that symbol. And that one. Yeah, it's about half a centimetre. I could take this out of the case, but I'll leave them in the case because this is just metal inside here, in this plastic. With all this is your power. You don't want anything touching anything here because you're going to short it, so ideally you want it in the case. Right, that took a long time. So I've had to take it completely out of the case, but what I've done is put half of the case, I've trimmed the case so it fits that. Double-sided, I've got scraps of double-sided sticky foam. That stuck it down in there, but now I need to put that onto the board. I can't use sticky foam on that because that won't work. It'll raise it too high. So I'm going to put a bit of a hot glue, unfortunately. Not my favourite thing to use, but it'll do the job, I hope. Just need to clean the surface of any crap, so to speak. So I'll put another layer of sticky foam on there. It's going to raise it too high past that point. And at the moment it's just right where it is now. get the SD card in nicely. Take it out. Right, bit of hot glue. Only want a couple of shavings off of it. I'm just trimming a few shavings. So what I'll do, turn this over. Yep, nope, put this down here. Stick that in there, like that. Hopefully it's enough, it should be. Hot air gun. Turn the heat down. Yeah, 250 should do. Start heating it up without blowing it away. Turn the fan down a bit. I'm just melting the hot glue so it sticks to the board. When it's a nice little liquid, I'll drop this on top and hopefully get it in one hit. Push that down a bit. Where's my SD card? So I know I'm lined up. Yeah, just leave that there. Yeah, looks alright, doesn't it? Yeah, not a bad job. Yeah, that's alright, just leave that there. Right, let me clear up because the desk is a complete mess. And then we'll carry on. Right, so take that SD card out of there. That goes in there. Like that. And that goes over there. Like that. I just need to figure out that, which it shouldn't be too hard. So I should have done that before I did that, shouldn't I? Let's take that all back out. Get out. Like that. And then we have to, if I can figure this out, get that in there. Yeah. Didn't think of that one, Stu, did you? Get in. And put the appropriate creases in it. Like that. Sweet, that'll work. And put the SD in. Ha! There you go. Oh, what's that black mark? Oh. Yeah, didn't clean the base. So there you go. So there's the SD. Sweet. Right, let's move you. Right, ready. Well, we know it works because we've done it before. We did it on the 1200, so we know it works. There's no reason it wouldn't work anyway. He says. No. Yeah, there you go. Sweet. Yeah. Cool. Job done. the only thing I've got left now is keyboard membrane, which will be in another video because this video's gone on long enough, 2 days worth, and I really don't like the editing part of this bit because it takes forever, and then I do those stupid outros which take even longer. Right, here you go. That's part 2, the 600, part 3. It's hard to count with your fingers. Part 3, we'll be finishing off the membrane and change the ROM out to a 3.1 ROM. And then that's it then. And then just wait for 80% from eBay again and stick this one on. And then that's all the Amigas apart from Board from Hell. And that is all the Amigas. Yep. As long as I don't see any more for sale, real cheap. Right. Thanks for watching. If you learned something, don't forget a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not, because it really does help the channel. I was quitting and then it shot up a bit, so I thought I'll hang around and see what happens. And now it's teetered on the 720 mark, so we'll see. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. If you don't subscribe, it's not me. Anyway, so thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.